At this point, Atlanta's competing with New York for who got the most rats.
In a world of glitz and glam, flashing lights and screaming fans, most people are unaware of the war that rages behind the scenes. And that war includes your favorite artist and your favorite songs. This is The Dark Side of Songwriting. Hosted by Nayim Edwards.
Welcome to The Dark Side of Songwriting. My name is Nayim Edwards. I am your host, and today I want to talk to y'all about rich homie Quan, but not that snitching bullshit, because as the great philosopher and wordsmith Trinidad James said, I don't fuck with no snitches. So don't tell me who telling. I don't care about that. I want to talk about his reasoning for not signing with the Rich Gang. So if you remember, Rich Gang was like the biggest thing before the world fell apart, you know. Thug and Birdman and Quan, and it was to a point where everybody knew that Quan was the one, because Quan was really having that momentum. He had I'm still going in, I never stop going in, just everything was amazing. Thug was bubbling, but it wasn't as hot as Quan was at the time. And obviously with this tape coming out about him telling and him saying, oh, I didn't sign because I seen other people's contracts, and then we'll talk about the shooting up the truck stuff later, because that is a valid point as to why he didn't sign in regards to like the aftermath of what will happen if you don't play ball when these people come to you, and I have more insight on that. But if you pay attention to music, we all know, like, just off the flap, that rappers lie, and one of the biggest rap lies is being independent. And I told you how you can find out if one of these motherfuckers running their mouth saying that they independent, if they really independent. Just go to Spotify, look at any of the Spotify major playlists. If they appear on any of those, they are not independent. Those are playlists specifically designed and reserved for people on labels. But a lot of people talk that independent shit, because it sounds good, because like everybody roots for the underdog. Everybody wants people to come up. People respect you getting it out the mud. People respect the grind. People respect the hustle, right? These niggas, they come out here and they talk that independent life, and it's all me, and this my business, and I'm a boss, and you know, I employ people and all this shit, until the label comes up to them. Until they've ran the circuit of, because you know, a lot of people don't even get to run the circuit that long. A lot of these niggas, unfortunately, they come into this shit and they feel like they need a daddy. They come into this shit fatherless as fuck, and not fatherless as the regards of actually physically not having their father in their life. They come in it fatherless, like they have no guidance. They don't know anything about music. They don't know how to get paid from it. All they know how to do is just be whatever the fuck they are, and then even they're not really good at that. But they talk that independent shit because it sounds good, until they reach the table. And what's sitting in front of the table is the executives and everybody promising you all this shit, saying they're going to handle your business, saying they're going to hand you a team, saying they're going to do everything for you. And a lot of them, they cross over to that because it's a whole different world over there. It's a whole lot of shit going on over there they had no clue about. They're not going to know about. And they're not going to have access to it unless you go over there. That's the difference nowadays between being independent and being signed. You can get the access, but you're going to work so fucking hard. It's going to take you so fucking long, opposed to as the label walking you right through the door and giving you the access to everything and propping you up. It's really just a lot of smoke and mirrors and a lot of bullshit, because the internet has become the great equalizer at this point when it comes to talent. That's why they want to bring in, you know, it's just kind of going off the side a little bit. They want to bring in shit like the Dolby Atmos mixing shit. That's just another way to gatekeep, because everybody can just come in this bitch. But back when Quan and Thug was on that insane run, they was both coming up, Quan had the opportunity to sign with Rich Gang, and he disappeared. And he was coming from, I think it's a game, to Rich Gang or whatever the situation was, because they didn't do no paperwork or nothing like that for that project. And that's the mistake a lot of niggas make. But in this instance, I say Quan did the right thing by not signing, because we have enough examples of, like he said, people getting fucked over in the paperwork. We have enough examples of people getting themselves into situations and getting themselves into positions where it just does not work out for them. Yes, I think Quan would have benefited from signing with Cash Money. However, he was smart enough to know that he was not some type of anomaly when it came to contracts. Because even the people that's still over there, if Birdman can have problems with Wayne, why would he not have problems with you? Why do you think you're gonna get, like, Wayne gets put on the pedestal, served on a gold platter treatment? You're not gonna get that. It doesn't. And as soon as you stop producing, niggas is not about to go out their way and try to make it work with you. You know, you're gonna get tossed to the side, or it will work with you, but how much of the pie you gonna have to split when it comes to Cash Money and all these other people? And Quan stood 10 toes down on that. I just want to be by myself and do my thing. And another thing that made him make that right decision was having a fucking father in his ear, letting him know that this might not be the best thing for you. This is not what you want. And this is so important because a lot of the times the people in our lives, they don't have the knowledge or the wherewithal to know anything. They don't know nothing about this music shit. You know, your mama will be like, just get your song on the radio. Your uncle will be like, why you ain't did a song with Drake? You know, they'll say some asinine, crazy, off the wall shit, and they have no clue what they're talking about. But to have somebody in your life that has your back, one, but has your best interest in mind when it comes to what you want to do with your work, to say, look, this paperwork, this ain't what you want. This is not what you want to do. We'll hold out for something better if we're going to do something later on. Just handle your business like you handling it right now, which good for the business aspects, because like I said, we got people like Michael Jackson, Sam Cooke, Prince, a whole lot of people who was doing their own thing and set that example of, like, you know, you don't sign no faulty paperwork. It don't matter what other niggas look like. Niggas is $40-50 million slaves. It doesn't fucking matter. Who gives a fuck about, like I said, one of my favorite books, Paradise Lost. Who gives a fuck about, that's from Dante's Inferno. Well, no, was it was Dante's, doesn't matter where it's from. It's Paradise Lost was the poem. And it was like, who gives a fuck about being the king of hell? You're still in hell, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when you have your family and stuff, just to like get to the point of the shooting and all that other shit that happened with his daddy, when these labels come in and they see and they want to sign you, so like, you hot, you bubbling, you doing good, everything is matching up how it's supposed to match up. When they come to you, a lot of times they're gonna come to you with some bullshit, because in your mind, it might be success to you to get signed to a label. It might make sense for you to sign to a label. But a lot of times they're coming to you and they're coming to you with some bullshit like, hey, this is what we got to offer you. You doing good. We gonna give you this, and this. You don't know anything about the music business. You don't know anything about contract law. They guard contract law with their life, because a lot of times these contracts are word salads. I'm gonna just say it in a simple term so you can get it. Like, they're word salads. They're not meant to be understood, and they're absolutely meant and intended on robbing you and making sure you do not benefit from whatever situation you're walking in. That's why they guard that. You know, the law run the music business. Lawyers run the music business intentionally, so you don't benefit. But coming through the door, right? Garbage deal, garbage paperwork on the table. If you decide now, these kind of things happen. Now, the shooting is way on the fucking far extreme side. The trying to kill your family member or trying to kill you because you disagreed and you didn't want to go further with making a company money or whatever. That's really like the most extreme. It does happen. It's happened before with like rock bands and a lot of other people, but it's on the far extreme side. A lot of the times what'll happen is they'll do sneaky shit like, you don't have your paperwork in order. You have a song is doing good, but you don't have your paperwork together. You don't have it properly registered. You don't have nothing indicating that this song is tied to you legally. They'll go behind your back and do the paperwork and register your song and collect your money and take your money from you. They'll do sneaky shit like trademark your sayings, trademark your logo, trademark your name, buy your website, buy your not your like your domain name, buy anything that's attached to you. They start playing that legal game when you don't want to sign. I seen one case one time where it was I think it was a girl. She didn't want to sign. They went and copyrighted all her shit. She didn't have no choice but to go over there and do what they wanted her to do, because she didn't own her name no more. Those are the kind of things that happen in the real world. That shooting and that crazy street shit does happen, but it's so far down the line and it's so fucking extreme. But everything else, they'll take your music, take your song and give it to somebody else, steal your music, just straight up steal it. You don't get no credit, no money, no nothing. Your voice is so small, you don't have no buzz, no traction, nobody to come out and say nothing on your behalf. Those are the type of things that really happen when you decide you don't want to go over there. But it's not like people ain't going over there. If you know what I'm saying. Like, people are going over there. They don't have a need to do these kind of cutthroat, devious things and stealing and backbiting and backdooring, because most people, soon as somebody with a name come, they ready to jump over there and they'll take whatever they got. Thug said he signed because he knew the deal. He knew the deal was shitty. He signed anyway because anything was better than how he was living. Anything was better than his current situation, and he was going to work his way out of the bad deal, which I don't advise that. But I mean, if that's your strategy, I mean, look where it landed him. And to wrap this up, it's like, imagine him signing that deal and being a part and being affiliated with anything that Thug got going on. He would have been wrapped up in all of this nonsense. But with this video coming out, I can see if they probably got to him first, and they already knew this. Because see, my thing is, these things don't just happen and we're just finding out about them. But law enforcement already knows. These people already know everything. The label already knew. They probably, a lot of times, if you ever got wrapped up in anything that had to do with having to go to circuit court, these detectives and shit will come to somebody around you and try to get information. Somebody around you that may have been in the vicinity, somebody to try to like nudge you or get some type of, confession. And then you down there running your goddamn gibbers, telling. And they won't have no, connection back to you and no trace. It's just amazing how all these things is coming out. As far as the telling thing, I don't care. I just don't. Like, at this point, Atlanta's competing with New York for who got the most rats. So, like, I mean, that's just kind of that. I think he did the right thing. Like I said, the dark side is that these are the type of things that happen when you don't play ball. Bad shit starts to happen because they have all the power. They have more money, so they're able to cover their stink up and their stench up a little bit better than somebody who was just out here just doing whatever. But I do have to respect the fact that he decided that won't for me, and I won't doing it. I don't care what kind of looks we gonna get. I'll sit out for a couple years and not be bothered with that shit. So that's it for that. They got me the fuck off Instagram for like 2 days. I don't know what the hell going on. They said I said something in the chat. I'm gonna be for real. I don't even know what the fuck I said. And that could have been any time, any whatever. But we back. I also couldn't log into this shit. I was trying to do the what's the junk? They tell you do the little swipe up on the thing. I was not getting no fucking notifications, but we back. This is the dark side of songwriting.